Hey there guys, I'm just putting together a video right now. It'll be the first one I've done pretty much since high school, but what I wanted to show you was just the maintenance I'm going to do to my lawnmower. I'm getting it ready for the season. I've actually already used it this season, but I think it's about time to change the spark plug filter and the oil on it. When you buy them new, you're supposedly supposed to change the oil in 5 hours. It takes me about 5 hours to mow my yard once, and I've had this mower for 2 seasons already. This will be the first change. I've kind of looked it over. It looks like it's in decent shape, but I wouldn't be surprised to find out that some of this stuff really needs to be changed. I've got a makeshift drain pan right here. I thought that I had an oil catch pan somewhere, but I couldn't find it, so I took one of these sleeves that you put in a paint roller pan, taped it to a tea bottle, and hopefully that's going to work out for us. I've also got here a spark plug wrench. For me, it's a 5/8 socket, a deep socket. I've got this 4-cycle small engine oil. It's 30 weight. I just bought, standard Briggs and Stratton. Made sure that it matched up with the engine. I've got, I think it's the 550E that is in mine. And then the spark plug. I actually ended up with this Champion RC12YC. I was looking at the Briggs and Stratton spark plug that goes to the overhead valve engines. It says it goes to all overhead valve engines, and on the back of that box it said, or if you're using a Champion plug, this is the size. So I thought, well, the Champion is half the price, and I want to maintain my mower, but I don't care about it all that much to be putting, like the air filter, Briggs and Stratton. I don't care what the name brand is in it. I just want it to keep going. For the air filter, that was the only one I could find at the store I went to. So anyway, hopefully this video is helpful to you guys. Sorry it's going to be shaky. I'm actually ordering a tripod to make future videos a little better, but I'm just holding this one by hand, so we'll see how it goes. I plan to give some kind of comparison so you can see my old oil versus the new, maybe in a clear cup or something like that. I'm going to take out the old air filter and compare it also. I do suspect the old one, it may be at a point where it just needs to be cleaned and not actually replaced, but if that is the case, I'll clean it and then just interchange them through the seasons until they actually are bad, and then I'll show you the difference in the spark plug. So first step we want to do when you start up the mower, I'm going to let it run for about 5 minutes. It just needs to get that engine oil hot, so whenever I go to pour it out, everything comes out, or at least the bulk of everything. So I'm going to go ahead and get that going. Okay guys, I just wanted to show you, I don't want to stand here and hold this thing for 5 minutes. So I just tied a little piece of rope around here, just a real easy, lazy rope tie, so I don't have to hold it while it's running for 5 minutes. And then just to have it out of the way, I'm going to pull this up and out of there. So when I've got it leaning over to drain the oil out right here, I don't have to worry about if this bag is in the way of my garage. It's kind of a mess. So anyway, I'll give it a quick pull, get it started up, and then I'll probably pause the video. Okay, well, it's been about 5 minutes now. I didn't time it, but kind of walked around and did some other stuff in the garage for a short bit. So we're gonna pull it in the garage, kind of get close to my setup here so I can hopefully just put it on its side. I don't want the wheels to crush the rail of my actual drip pan. So we're going to set it like that, hopefully with me hanging it over the edge. Anything that might spill over will hopefully spill onto this and not on my floor, but My floor is epoxy, so I should be able to clean it up. So I did actually forget to mention I'm going to use a flathead to get this oil drain off. I'm using a pretty big one here. I'm just going to kind of wipe away some of this grass. I don't want to open this up and a bunch of grass fall in it. So sorry about that. I'm not really looking at what I'm doing with the camera so much. This is more hopefully what I'm saying is good enough. It's coming. It broke loose pretty easy. Get under there, you can see. Grabbing this off. Doesn't really tell much of a story there, but I was gonna say I'm not gonna bother taking a look at it. I'm gonna go grab a towel real quick and I'll actually measure the level. So I'll be right back, guys. Okay, guys, I went and got one of my shop rags. This is for me. Garage tip. I like to do lots of work on my own cars, and obviously I'm going to do the lawnmower. It's easy enough, but I don't like to buy paper towels a lot. So what I do is, as clothes stain or tear, kids grow out of them, I cut them up and I throw them in a box that I've got. And whenever I need a shop rag, typically to clean up some sort of oily mess, I just have a cut up piece of fabric I use. Make sure, they're gonna fray when you cut them up, so make sure you don't snag on anything or end up putting, like I'm gonna do here, this dipstick. Make sure you're not putting your dipstick back in with a piece of cloth stuck to it if you happen to do it this way. So that's what I choose to do, and I like them better than the paper towels. So I'm gonna wipe this clean. Sorry, I'm gonna wipe this off. And what happened before was, personally, I don't really care about checking this level or anything. I don't see much of a point in it because I know my oil needs to be changed. But I thought, I told you I was gonna do kind of a comparison, so I might as well show you guys my 5 viewers. I saw a show once, and they worked for a TV station, I guess, but they had this joke. He said, "Oh, we doubled our viewership last night." And he said, "Oh, we got Bob back." That's probably what it's like for me. So you can kind of see, it's hard to see. Let's see if I can. But it's basically filled to the level. I don't know how well this camera is picking this up, but it's basically filled at the level. It doesn't look too black here, but that doesn't mean that it's not black whenever we pour it out. Especially, like I said, this is the starter oil. The original oil you put in when you get it new. I'm just wiping my hand off. So I would really expect it's in terrible shape. I've used it well over the life of it for sure. How many times, I don't know. So the gas cap, I've got the kind of mower that it's not going to drain out of the bottom. I've got to dump it out from the fill slot, or the fill hole. So what you want to do, I think it's recommended you have less gas in your mower, but what you want to do is take off your gas cap. And no, we're not going to drain this out. Usually when I'm done mowing my yard, I've topped it off once midway through, and by the time I'm done it's about empty. I was going to use this bag to cover it. I feel like since I've just run the mower, if any of that bag hangs over, it's just going to melt. I don't want to deal with that. So I'm still going to use a plastic bag, but this one's just like a kitchen storage bag. And it's thicker. I know for sure it's clean. I just pulled it out of a box. I'm going to drape it over here. Sorry again if you're not seeing what I'm doing very well, because I'm trying to do two things at once here. I'm going to drape it over here, and then I'm going to pull the cap and actually close in the cap on top of the bag. And what all that's doing is really giving you an extra gasket, really. Instead of just the gas cap, you've actually got a plastic layer that's going to seal it around the edge. Okay, so I think with that, the next step is I'm going to try to drain it in here. You know, you've got to kind of try and arc it so it's hitting where you want. So I think I've got it about where I want, so I'm just going to try and dump it over one-handed here and see. Well, I missed a little bit, but that oil is nasty, nasty looking. Anyway, I'm gonna go grab some of those handy dandy shop rags I was talking about. Let that drain for a little while and go help out. So I'll be back. Okay, everybody, I'm back. This has been draining, I'd say probably about an hour. Definitely doesn't need to be that long, but I had to go be a dad for a little while, so I'm just going to go ahead and tip it back over, take off this plastic bag up here. I'm going to pour in the oil, change out this filter and this spark plug, and like I said, we can do a little comparison to see what everything looks like side by side. So I already took a crack at cleaning up right here. Since it was the oil, I actually got a towel. This is still in the same box I keep all the other rags, but I figured to clean up oil, it probably needed something a little bit better than a torn t-shirt or something like that. So anyway, let's go back over here. Just get that off. Looks like it did a pretty good job. Got, of course, some gas on the side that was down, but it seemed like for all that time it did a pretty good job holding in the fuel. And then just a note for anybody that cares, I mean, most gas stations, the gasoline that they sell will say, you know, up to 10% ethanol added. These motors aren't really meant to have that. I mean, that's why on the cap here, as you can see, it says no ED85 on there. I mean, that's a lot more ethanol, but at any rate, that ethanol in the gasoline, it'll tear up your engine gaskets and things like that. So what I do, I actually found a place here locally where I live that sells gasoline without the ethanol additive. And I know in this red car here, it made a significant difference in the mileage in that car, significant enough to justify paying for the other gas, just in mileage alone. I think, I mean, it's more expensive gas, more so I think because it's an independent little gas station here that has it. But at any rate, I get good enough mileage that it takes care of the difference in cost, so I'm gonna keep on using it. I don't make myself use it every time, but I prefer to use it. Anyway, let me grab a funnel, or it may even, I don't know if I have a funnel that'll go in there very well, so I may even end up rolling up a sheet of paper or something, so I'll be right back with something for that. Okay guys, I poured 2 cups here. The new oil is on the left, old oil is on the right. Let's see, it may help to have a little bit of a white background for these. Something I learned in school when you're trying to really see colors. A white background helps. Anyway, that's the difference you can see. Definitely a thicker, not quite sludgy, but a dirty oil on the right for sure. And then I made a makeshift filter here out of paper. I just rolled it up into a cone and taped it. I'm going to pour in about a pint of this 4-cycle engine oil. I want to start off with the cup, and hopefully I don't spill it all over the place. I don't see it leaking anywhere because I got the paper funnel in there, and I haven't yet knocked it over. I think these take about a pint. I'm gonna do that. I don't know if you can read these very well, but I'm gonna try to take it to about the 500 mark. So just about all of it. And I'm gonna go ahead and use the cup again, so I've got some way I can measure it prior to actually pouring it and finding out I overfilled. So for me, it's about 2 of these cups. So these cups must be about, actually like a measuring cup size. Get it pouring in again. And hopefully this is clear. I know on my camera I'm not seeing it very clear on the screen, but a lot of times it looks better, once you get inside and have it on a computer to look at. So it looks like good timing. That's about all the filter, or all the funnel could take. I'm gonna cap off my bottle. I've already got this wiped. Put it in there. And then we'll check it real quick. See if it's about where I'm. Looks like we probably need to add a little bit more. Okay, so I topped it off just a bit more. It looks like it was my fault. Pouring in my cup measurement system didn't work quite as well, but it's hard to see, but it's right up there, those top marks. Cleaner oil and all. It's hard to see, so I'm just going to screw that back on, and that should take care of changing the engine oil. the spark plug and the filter. So hang in there. Okay, I've come around to the other side. I'm just going to show you. This is what my filter looks like right now. You see this? The other side isn't too bad. It's mostly just coated in grass, so I think it's something I can clean up, but I'm going to go ahead and put in this filter. Okay, so I'm going to clean this all off just a little bit. Kind of get the bulk of this grass off. I'm going to do the same down here and just throw in this new filter. It looks like it goes in like this. Okay, so I've got this new filter in there already. Managed to get grass on it, but you can see this is the old filter. It really doesn't look too bad. I bet mostly it can be cleaned up, so I might be using this one for next season. I'm just gonna toss it over there for now, and then I'll put the cover back in. You can see I kind of wiped it out. Not too good, but the way this housing is built, it's not going to take much to get grass in there again. Okay, so we're onto the spark plug. It's on the front of the engine. You can just kind of pry the wire off. Looks like mine has paint on it, maybe? Well, if you can make that up. Whatever. I'm going to take my ratchet, my deep socket, just break it loose. Now I'm just going to detach my deep socket and put it on there too. Unwind it by hand. I don't see any need to keep using the ratchet once it's broken free. It should come out pretty easy. So let's see here. Doesn't look too bad to me. I mean, really not even bad at all. Camera to focus. I don't know if it is focusing and I just can't tell on my screen, but obviously the new one's going to be nicer looking. But we'll just go ahead. I'm not going to treat these threads with anything. I'm just going to go ahead and screw it in. I think some people they like to, coat the threads with some anti-seize. Just, I suppose, a good idea, but I don't think this will ever be tight enough on here. I'm just going to I'd say hand tighten. I'm not going to hand tighten, but I'm just going to snug it up. So, get my ratchet on there again. I don't think anti-seize is going to be necessary for it. And just go ahead and put the housing back on, and it should kind of snap on. If you don't hear that snap, you don't have it, and it won't start. But that's about it. You could do some cleaning out underneath here. I mean, you can see I've kind of got a layer on there. I live in a pretty dry area, and whenever I cut, it's already pretty dry. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'll say as as far as your old oil goes, if you're not somebody that's familiar with changing oil, you can just pour it in. I've got an old oil can there. You just pour in your old oil and you can drop it off at local auto parts store. They'll recycle it for you. Don't pour it on the ground, please, and probably don't throw it in one of these oil cans and then throw it in your dumpster either. That's not the way to handle it. Like I said, it's free to recycle. You just have to know where to go. Most auto parts stores are going to take it. So that's it. I hope this has been helpful. Like I said, I'm just trying to do something to be a little bit helpful here, and then probably next season I'll redo this, re-record all this, and update it with something a little cleaner. But at least in the meantime, hopefully this will be helpful to somebody. So, thanks for watching. Well, I was wrapping up, but I suppose I should start it. Show you that it actually works. There's my little girl. She's got her ear protection on. Okay, we'll give this a go.